Let us begin. There we go. We're going to give it a few moments. There's usually a pretty heavy delay in the world of StreamYard and YouTube. Come on in, everyone. According to the AI Archon Internet Gatekeepers, it does appear that we have been granted access to the internet realm. Let's go ahead and check Facebook. It's rare that I even try on Facebook, guys, but to this time we're gonna try. There we go. Facebook stream initiated. Here we are once again. I want to thank everybody who's rolling in the door. Man, it has been a whirlwind journey of near heat stroke here today, this afternoon. All kinds of manic energy. We just had a complete. For those of you guys that know tarot out there, you guys, we had a total Five of Wands moment in the back room, in the green room for everyone that's coming on the show. And most of you are going to be like, what? Five? Somebody out there will know. They'll go, oh, five of wands. Anyway, greetings. Welcome to the multidimensional trailer park. I just want to be sure that you guys can hear me. I'm having tons of technological difficulties. It looks like we're operational. Excellent. Come on in. And so, yeah, tonight is going to be a very, very fun journey, you guys. I don't know if we've ever had this many people at any one time on this channel at the same moment. So this is going to be a really, really fun journey. But we do have a very, very important mission at this stage. For those of you guys that have been watching this channel for the past few months, or I think maybe it's been a few months that we've been talking about it. Maybe not. For those of you guys that know me, know my concept of time is literally horrible. It might have been last week that we were here. In fact, it probably was last week that we were right here in this same exact spot. And so anyway, come on in. It's really, really good to see you guys. Thank you. The audio is working. Excellent. What's up, Trevor? How's it going? We got White Swan. We got Aurora Diamond Heart in the house. Hello, Kim Rupp as well. Somebody out there pulled Five of Wands. Oh, my Lord. Somebody did. What's up, Jet Roja? Come on in, everybody. So as you guys know, we have a very cool group of people waiting in the background. They're all kind of back there doing some form of a ritual. I don't know what it is. We're about to find out. But anyway, part of our mission here today is to help promote the Journey to Truth conference that is coming up May 22nd through 25th out there in Grafton, Illinois. For those of us that were a part of this last year, and I was there as a vendor, we're going to be there again this year. For those of us that were a part of this, many of us acknowledge that it was one of the most successful and just well put together and just most welcoming kind of social gatherings, conferences, convention experiences within our current kind of soul group or, multidimensional tribe or whatever you want to call it. And so the thing that we decided to do this year, once again, is just kind of bring some people on that are going to be a part of the overall group, not people that are speaking per se, but what I have noticed about a lot of these gatherings is there is always this underbelly of really interesting and wild kind of mystical beings, whether they be craftsmen, whether they be healers, whether they be psychics, whether they be, warriors, shaman, whoever it is, oracles, whatever label that you want to add to it. I think one of the things that we've noticed that has kind of arisen around the Journey to Truth podcast and the larger social group is a very, very interesting and authentic mix of people that, at least within the work that I do, I notice that not always it seems that those people get seen, or do we get to hear from them. And so our mission here today is to kind of look at, just kind of some individuals that are going to be there at the conference doing their thing, bringing some of their work, showcasing kind of their own awakening process and their, just the tools that they come in with. And for those of you guys that are thinking of coming there, I personally believe that it is at these physical gatherings where the majority, maybe not the majority, but really huge energetic activations, changes will occur. You will meet people that you will feel as though you've met them your entire life and you've known them for 5 minutes. And likewise, you're going to see some people that you have met on the internet and you're going to go, yeah, I don't know. I thought you were totally different. And, you're going to have many, many different versions of that experience. But I think for those of us that have been a part of this soul group for the past few years, I think we have come to understand the increased importance in coming together physically whenever we can. And so that said, I'm not going to drag it out too long because we got a lot of people here, you guys, and we're going to ask some questions and just kind of learn a little bit about some of the people that are going to be joining us this year. So I'm going to pop everybody on the screen. We have been having a lot of technological difficulty. I am praying that one of you guys can hold on if for some reason our stream gets either taken over or if I drop out or something. So just be aware that could certainly happen. But anyway, thank you for being here, everyone. It's an honor to have you.
Thank you.
Cool. And so tonight, you guys, as you can see on the screen, we got Tyler with us from Journey to Truth. We have Anne-Marie from The Art of Healing, who I was very honored to be on her show. I think was it about a month ago? I think maybe.
Something
I don't know.
like that,
My concept of time is really bad. And then we have Mason Feary, a craftsman in his own right. I'm honored that he could be here. We have First Lady Erika, who I have been able to catch your channel a few times. And then we also have Dr. Daniel Seda, who honestly somehow there's so many times I will just flip on something on a YouTube and somehow your face is there. So I mean that very, very sincerely. I'll turn it on and they keep sending me your videos over and over and over again. So anyway, thank you for being here. Thank you, Greg. He said what I was thinking. There he is in the background.
Yeah.
I love you. Anyway, I'm going to go ahead and start out. Tyler, how's it going? Thank you for being here. Introduce yourself.
It's going perfect. I just came from a metaphysical fair today, so I was all in those energies, and I had to come home and like reground myself, and I crashed on the couch for about an hour. I mean, it's just you know how intense it can be being around, and there was a number of psychics and channelers and tarot card readers and healers, so it was intense, but it was amazing. So I'm just kind of resetting from that, and now here I am in this strange realm, or whatever you call it. And I'm grateful to be here, and thank you for putting this together to help promote the conference and just get together, because it's always fun when we get to have these conversations.
Something is going on here. Hold on.
What's going on?
I think we're having somewhat of a little bit of a system failure here. Hang in here, everybody. I don't know what.
Hello, humans! Do not change your television channels! I am taking over! I hope to see all of you at the Journey to Truth conference!
Okay. It looks like it looks like we have been invaded by the representative from the Negative Gray Alliance. Looks like he's hijacked Robert Earl White, Order of Light. Oh, my Lord. Okay, we're going to go ahead and pull him off the screen. Dan, I'm hoping you can do a little bit of an exorcism on him in the background, and then we're going to go ahead and pop him back on in a moment. You guys, please hit the like button. Hopefully that will stop whatever this is. Hit it as many times as you can, and please share this video to anyone you know that's in the Galactic Federation. Maybe they'll send Thorhan. Quickly, do it now. Oh, my Lord. Okay, sorry, guys. Whoa. Oh, my God. I'm really, really sorry.
Is everybody okay?
Ooh.
That was awesome.
That was, I haven't legit laughed like that in a long time. That was hilarious.
I'm really sorry. We need to check on this guy, you guys. Oh, my Lord. Oh, Dan, I think you're supposed to be doing an exorcism on him. Thank you. I'm sorry. Yeah, there you go. Okay, wow. I think he's all right. I think they got okay. He was able to pull the gray entity out of his body. Let's bring him back in.
Oh. There it is. I'm back.
Oh my God.
There you go. Good job, Rob.
Oh, dude, that was the funniest thing.
Thank you.
I can't even top that. I forgot what I was saying.
The whole plan was
anyway,
we were going to introduce everybody, and who knows it all. Yeah. Anyway, thank you, everyone.
Yeah, that was amazing, Robert. That was hilarious. Well done. Yeah, no, thank you. I don't know what I was saying, but I'm really excited about this year's event. It's always fun when we all get together and just have these roundtables and chat about stuff. And I appreciate you putting this together for us. And most of everyone here knows who I am, so I'm not going to introduce myself, but I appreciate the opportunity. to be here, and thank you for doing this.
Totally. It is an honor. And I don't know, like, if you guys out there can tell as well as people on screen, that just dispelled a huge pocket of energy from the live. Like, seriously, though, we came in here and it was like, and then, so thank you, Mr. Robert Earl White. But anyway, let's hand it over to Anne Marie. Who are you? What are you doing here? What is your current mission on Earth?
Hi, everybody. Thank you, Matthew, for inviting me into this gathering here. Oh, hi. My name is Anne Marie Morales, and I go by Anne Marie, the Art of Healing. And I'm a channeler and energy healer. And I'm just looking forward to helping out at the conference this year.
Cool. Thank you. Oops. Sorry. I was trying to do it really cool and smooth, and it was actually horrible. I'm so bad at doing a lot of people on screen. I'm sorry, you guys. I'm sorry. You know how, like, with Zoom, you can just pull somebody in and out like instantly. For those of you guys that like use Zoom, right? You can just. StreamYard's different. Sorry, and I just screwed up the order on the screen. So somebody else introduce themselves. What are you going to be doing at this strange conference? Anybody?
Mason, go ahead.
I can go.
Mason,
So
what's up?
my name is Mason. I create orgone pyramids with Orgone Berlin's lab. I have a Shopify account. I make various different styles of these pyramids. I might have to turn my green screen off.
Oh no, it's all good. I'm gonna try to put you on main screen again. Get ready for me to embarrass myself. Here we go.
Okay, so I make various different orgone devices. Very intricate. They all have capstones. Some of them don't. I came out with a new line that uses graphene oxide. It helps with helping attain more orgone energy, and it's a different look and different composition for these pyramids. And I absolutely love doing these. It brings me a lot of joy, and I get to create all sorts of, these little devices, and they help out. So I will be there at this event. I'll only be there on Monday and Tuesday, but I will be there the whole weekend before the event if anyone wants anything. I do custom orders, and I have various different sizes, different tools. I have other ones that are pretty new. These are earth pipes. Wow. So you can stick these in your yard, and it's full with the iron oxide and crystal quartz and crushed quartz, and they're pretty popular. If you have a bunch of like power lines or any sort of like cell towers about your house, you can put these in there and help you out.
Very, very cool. Very, very cool. Thank you sincerely. Is that similar to a tower? Oh, I can never say the word tower buster.
Buster?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's actually the same exact materials. It just doesn't have the long strands and the crystals at the top. That the reason why they're so tall is they're actually attracting atmospheric electricity and then it's bringing it down. This is the same kind of idea, except you're putting it into the earth. So it's using the natural electrical current from Mother Gaia, and then putting it into this device in a focused area.
Nice.
And you can get 10% off of all of his products with promo code Journey to Truth 10.
So
very cool.
Nice. Thank you for.
I'll also be. I have one new item that I'm bringing. I'm making my own Colloidal silver now. So if anyone's interested in the Colloidal silver, I have that as well. I'll be bringing that during the conference.
Oh,
yes,
nice.
That's great.
What do you use to make the colloidal silver, if I may ask?
So there's a lot of misleading information online. A lot of people use accelerants. They'll use like baking sodas, or they use like corn syrup. I don't use any of that. I use pure 9999 silver coins, and then I use a DC generator, and I put it at a certain voltage and for a certain amount of time for a certain strength. And I have a ppm meter that's specifically designed to test your ppm, and I keep it about like 6 to 10 ppm. So that's a good strength for, I don't know if you have like stinky shoes, or if you have just feeling down. My cat had a sore in her mouth, and I would spray it in there, and it actually helped heal it. There's so many uses for Colloidal silver.
Very, very cool. I have another question. I'm so sorry. Do you use the spooky silver, the spooky 2 silver generator by chance, or do you use a different?
No, I use an actual DC generator. It's so I can control the. So you have more precise control in the voltage and for the time. So depending on, so I use purified distilled water, medical grade. So I can turn the voltage up a little bit higher, because if there's no, when you put the device in there that measures the ppm, there's nothing, zero. So it's going to take a little bit longer. So what I do is I use a little bit of my old batch to accelerate it, so those particles can have more electrical continuity. And then depending on how big the jar is, the variable adjustment for the electricity is, in my research, it's much better than having like a machine that you turn on. You don't really know what you're getting out of it. So that way I have full customization within my own ability.
And
I originally started with a silver coin, but this is 99.9%, which is not pure enough. So we wanted 99.99%. And it was actually pretty difficult to find pure silver coins that you can buy physically for not like break the bank cost. In the future, I'm going to do the same thing with these copper ones. Copper is really good with skin. Anything topical for your cells. And then later, once the funds help, Colloidal gold, which will be a new one.
Very nice.
I will add really quick, for anyone who's wanting to know what they can use colloidal silver for, it's great to replace antibiotics. Instead of going to the doctor or the urgent care or whatever, whenever you have any sort of infection or anything, just start drinking or taking that however you want. But I drink it, and it works better than an antibiotic, and it's way cleaner for your body.
It's antimicrobial, antiviral, and antibiotic. So yeah, perfect.
Yeah, thank you. I get kind of like oddly into that, so sorry for all the awkward questions. Next up on our screen, we have Mr. Robert Earl White from the Order of Light. Thank you for doing that awkward intro. For those of you guys watching, I had to force him. I literally had to force him and threaten him, in order to get him to do this. But thank you for showing up. How you doing over there?
Yeah, doing good. It's a pleasure to be here. Finally get on your channel. I've watched a lot of videos and we've been chatting for a while. And what can I say about myself? I'm just a dude playing another dude disguised as another dude that don't know what dude he is. And I'm just a dude really excited for the Journey to Truth conference. I'll be there. Nothing special. That's it. That's all I am. Perfect.
Yeah. Are you going to be doing any streaming there at all? Are you
probably not, because normally I'm so busy talking to people, so busy having fun, that the last thing I think about, even having a YouTube channel, last thing I'm thinking about is recording. I'm like, this is so awesome. I want to be selfish and experience the connection, the human connection, which is something we don't always have here on the internet. And that's my favorite part about it, is that human interaction. And when I'm hanging out with humans, I really don't care about cell phones.
I love that.
Also, the internet doesn't really work that well there, as I recall. It's like, yeah. But anyway, yeah, thank you for showing up. I think next on the screen, we're going to go with Dan, because I know we heard from Anne, Marie, and Tyler. But anyway, thank you for being here, Dan. How's it going? What are you doing on Earth at this stage?
Oh, wow. Good question. First of all, how do I follow that? So my name is Dan. I'm a transpersonal scholar. I'm an author. I am also a teacher. I teach piano, voice, and dance for the most part. And I'm a multidisciplinary performer. And let's see what else. I'm a dog dad. My dog is 15 years old, and I love him very much. And today was a great day. It was a little rainy out here in a small town in North Carolina. But yeah, I took him out a few times, enjoyed the backyard, enjoyed the flowers. Very, very lovely day today. And I'm happy to be here. So that's kind of my intro.
Thank you. What are you going to be doing at the conference? Because as I understand, you're going to be having a table there doing some of the work that you have been a part of for a while. What do you have?
Great question. I'm going to be selling some books. I have a few of them over here. I'm selling 3 of them, but this is the second of a trilogy. Oh, I have an echo. Can you hear the echo?
A little bit, but I actually thought it was me. It could.
But anyways, and I'll also be doing psychic mediumship work. So if you guys want any sessions, let me know.
So you are doing sessions there, yes?
Yes.
Okay, cool, because I would definitely like to get one. And I hope that everyone that's out there, this is a good place to get sessions from people that will be doing that kind of work. And so I look forward to seeing who will be seeing Dan. And hopefully the echo is not too bad now. I don't know if that's me or somebody else, but
Maybe we can on mute if we're not talking.
maybe. Anyway, okay. Cool, thanks. Anyway, and then next up we have the First Lady, Erika. Thank you for us hanging out there in the background and being here on probably like the most awkward night that I think I've ever had on this channel so far, which is kind of why it works. But anyway, how are you? Who are you? What are you doing on Earth at this stage? And I guess I'm on Moon Street as well, so let's make it really awkward.
I love awkward. That's usually what I do.
All right.
Well, I'm the First Lady Erika, and I'm an oracle, and I end up having these wonderful, strange conversations with people that just, and I function as a conduit to help them get closer to whatever vehicle that they desire. That's pretty much what I've coined myself for a long time, and I'm starting out strangely from being this person that helped people with life insurance and things like that. And then 2020 came and swept me away to just open my eyes even further to what I was doing, because I was already helping people with vision boards and just trying to help them focus on gaining what they want to get out of life. But it's been magnified by meeting people like Tyler, even people like Robert Earl that inspire me, and people like you. You're so beautiful and wonderful and open. And so I operate as an oracle, and my specialty is these beautiful organite unks that I make, that I created the pattern by hand. And I help people with theta healing, also to help them with their self-limiting beliefs because of all the lies and control that has been upon us since the day we were born. There's so much that we must undo in our thinking, especially with our thinking about the limitations that we have. So that's just what I do, is help people become in the stage of becoming,
I feel you. So are you going to be doing sessions there as well?
I will definitely be doing sessions. I brought back some wonderful oils from Egypt to help people with their chakras, doing 14 chakra alignment. And I'll talk and love and hug and listen. So I'm open. I'm just open and excited because I get to see Tyler again and Robert Earl again, and get to meet all these people. I'm really looking forward to being out in the woods, because I did that army thing. So I'm like, whatever happens, I'm there.
Thank you. Hopefully the echo is not too bad. I'm getting crazy echo and noise stuff. How's everybody else doing on sound?
I don't hear it anymore.
Okay,
It sounds better now.
It's probably just me. Literally, it's the AI archons, or maybe it's the reptilians. But yes, go ahead.
Can I say something again? I'm sorry. I was kind of like intimidated in the beginning because I was seeing myself on a little square, and then all of a sudden it was my face, and I kind of blanked out on what I was going to be doing at the conference. So
that
I guess now
happens
is the
a
time
lot.
to talk about it.
Like if
So
you
I'm
come
sorry.
here, that's definitely yeah. Anyway, go ahead.
No, she means because you switched the camera.
I
and
know,
it threw her off.
totally.
Yeah.
This is literally how we roll. It's like at the most awkward moment, we're just gonna switch it again. But anyway, please do, Anne-Marie, tell us exactly what are you gonna be doing?
All right. So since now is the time to do this, I want to take the advantage and tell you guys what I do. So I will be offering not just my chakra balancing sessions, but I will be offering BQH sessions, as well as little shamanic journeys that I offer my clients. So just as what I'm offering is I'll go into your energy field. We'll see how your chakras are doing. And when I get into your energy field, I start to get huge downloads, channeled messages. We remove whatever needs to be removed, and fill you up with beautiful love energy. So
Nice.
that's what I'm offering people.
Nice. I look forward to taking part in that as well. I think a lot of this is also for me to get sessions from a few people as well, because I never do. I'm one of those people that rarely ever gets work done. But um, thank you. I look forward to seeing the people that are going to be taking advantage of what you have to offer as well. And with that, I do have a few questions that I would like to ask to get everyone's just kind of general feelings on a few things for the people that have been watching our channel for the past little while, which is usually about 5 minutes or so. One of the things that I have noticed, or like kind of one of the big what I would call missions of what we do, at least in this channel, is it's really about charting and activating and understanding the process of intuitive activation within this life and the many forms that it takes throughout our human journey. And for one of the things that I've noticed about the tribe of people that get attracted to these types of events is that it's often people that are going through a very particular process that, while it's very individual, is often marked by great changes in, what we might call intuitive awareness, what we might call psychic ability. And we have a number of people within this group, whether or not we do it professionally. I believe that everyone here on the screen, part of the reason why we're even here in this now moment is because we agreed to be part of this, population that's going to go through this great change. And so my question is this, and I'd like to get everyone's view on this. What changes have you noticed within your own intuitive activation over the past year? And think about this before you answer, because think of where you were 1 year ago. Everyone that's here, and those of you guys in the chat, think of where you were 1 year ago right now. Take into account what you thought was true, what you thought was real, what you thought was important. Look at where you are now. And how has your intuition changed? What, and we could even say, what abilities have you guys noticed? And I guess, Mason, you're kind of the next one on my screen, so I'd love to hear from you first if you're willing. But yeah, what have you noticed in your world?
Yeah, so my journey kind of really kicked off during COVID. And for people that don't know my background, I'm former intelligence in the United States Army, and then also for the NGA. And so I was very logic-based, very analytical. I'm also a Virgo, so analyzing and figuring things out is my forte. What I actually started learning is, diving into this esoteric philosophy or just spiritual texts or any things like that. I learned that some of the struggles that I went through in my life, as I healed them, looking back at them, getting a different perspective, maybe letting stuff go. I have noticed, and my girlfriend can contest to this, the more you know yourself on a deeper level, people aren't very different. The only thing that's different about them is their story and the way that they portray themselves with that story. So the deeper that you know yourself, you can know other people without even talking to them. You can feel like, oh, I understand why that person did that. Or you can think of a certain color or like a certain sensation or something, and then someone else will say it. Like you have more connection with yourself. It's easier to connect with other people. And also from my personal experience, I've increased my patience a lot. Just going through what I go through and looking at other people going like, wow, I used to be like that. Or not to like point fingers or anything at anyone, but you can understand where a person's at in their own journey when you kind of reflect within your own self. And with all the crazy conspiracies that are out there and, global elite or cabal, all that kind of stuff, you can find more comfort in yourself when you've healed your trauma. And then the world isn't scary anymore. The world is just the world. And we're here individually and collectively to kind of figure that out. And I think that gives you a little more peace. The deeper you go within yourself, the world actually is a beautiful place. It's just this play that we're all in.
Nice.
Yes.
I feel you. Thank you. Thanks. Who wants to go next? It looks like Robert's next up on the screen. What have you noticed change in your world, my friend?
Well, one of the things he said as well was patience, perseverance, and forgiveness. And, same thing he said with, everyone's on their own time, their own schedule of their spiritual journey. And there's really a need for tolerance and patience for ourselves, for the people around us, people that just found out about ETs, UFOs, and spirituality yesterday. That doesn't make them any lesser of a person than someone that's been talking about it for 60 years. There needs to be a tolerance. The hierarchy of experiencers needs to stop. We all have something valued. And the biggest thing I learned in this past year is not everything is what it seems. People, scenarios, situations, this whole world is flipped upside down on its head. So, as Mason said, it's better to just look within, because that's the only way that you straighten it all out and you get on the horizon again. Because if you're looking externally to try to figure everything out, you are just going to go around in circles. Yep. So you got to look within. And Mason touched on all of these, but that's been the same lessons I've been learning personally and observing as well.
Sounds like knowledge of self, which I guess is a really big label, but it is literally that, right? I mean, it seemed right. You got that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Thank you. I guess we'll go with Anne Marie next, and I promise I will not put you on the main screen. I know that's horribly awkward. I realized like in hindsight, I'm like, oh God, okay, I'm sorry. But anyway, yeah, go ahead.
It just took me by surprise. That's all. So as in terms of like a year ago till today, a year ago, well, within this past calendar year, I sold my home and pretty much everything that I owned and moved back into my mother's house permanently here in Florida. And I was gifted, and I'll say that because I was gifted with an illness that kind of knocked me around a bit. And what I'm learning about all of this is that we need to have everything taken care of inside of us. So the way I see it is we're in a big sifter, right? You know, those earth sifting, and you just only the big things are going to be left, right? So all the small things have been taken care of, and I had a few boulders that needed to be taken care of, and the only way to do it was for my body to kind of tell me, time for you to take care of this. So that's what happened to me, and it's a gift. I'm trying to look at it as a gift, but definitely that's what's happening for me. But in terms of like my abilities in this past year, every time that I do a lot of these fairs, like what you just went to, Tyler, and I love to sit down with absolute strangers, and I believe they come to me, you know, because they're attracted for one reason or another, frequency. And every time I sit down with people, first of all, they're amazing humans. Like I'm always so honored when people come to me for help or whatever. And so my skills, like they go up and up and up the more that I do it. Amazing things like somebody said, oh, tell me about so-and-so. And like I wrote the name down, I cupped my hands over the name, and all of a sudden I started getting all these downloads about this person. And it was incredible. So anyway, that's been fun. And I just thought I'd share it. So that's it. This is
thank
awkward.
you. I'm really glad you're doing the paper technique. That is I have. Yeah. Anyway, thank you.
Mm.
Go ahead, Tyler. What changes have you noticed within your own path of intuitive awakening over the past year?
Well, first of all, I love what everyone said so far. And patience has been one that's been showing up for me for years. I found myself in these situations that were testing my patience to the very limit. And I understand why now, because of what's happening on this world stage. I mean, you have to be patient, and you have to get to know yourself. I agree with everything Mason said about getting to know yourself. And the one thing I've really tuned into is my intuition, but I feel like it's been there, but it's definitely, I'm more in tune to it. But one thing that I'm doing now that I wasn't doing is listening to it in ways that I never used to. Going with that gut feeling, and I just did today. We were about to do something, and I just told my dad, I was with my dad. I said, you know what? No, we both decided, yeah, let's go do that. I said, you know what? No, I just got a hit. We're not supposed to go there. I don't know why. I'm just not going to do it. And I'm going to listen to my gut. And it's something I'm starting to do. And I was so proud of myself in that moment, because sometimes, once you already commit verbally in a group of people, you feel like, oh shit, now I have to go. And I just, stopped it. I just put that to a halt right there in the spot. And I was like, no, I'm going to listen to my gut here. And I'm not going to, now I don't have to go into that situation and then come back out and heal from it, or remove whatever entity was trying to attach itself to me, or whatever was going to happen there. But the main difference, I would say, from a year ago to now is, I definitely agree with Robert, is nothing, and I mean nothing, is as what it seems, especially the light, if that makes any sense. The light, the devil never shows up as the devil, right? The false light right now that I'm seeing, that I was falling for a year ago, it's actually disturbing, but I also think it's all divinely orchestrated, and I think it's here ultimately to test people's discernments, and there's lessons in it for everyone, and it's everyone's their own karma, and that's how they're going to learn, is their path, and people are attracted to that energy because they haven't healed in certain areas. I understand it all from the bigger perspective, but there is so much deception and people being used as deceivers who are unaware of it themselves. And I'm understanding, like, mind control isn't just like something created by the Nazis or the CIA or MK Ultra or whatever. This is something people are mind controlling themselves, actually. And that's why you have to get to know yourself, to know what thoughts are your own and what thoughts aren't yours, because a lot of your thoughts aren't organic, or some of them are literally implanted there by a technology or an entity or another being. And it can lead us astray. It can lead us down a path that it's hard to recover from. And ultimately, it's a growing experience if you allow it to be. But these are all things I've experienced over the past years that really helped me hone in on that intuition, and then start listening to my body, and let my body tell me what to do instead of my mind. Because that's what they want. That's the whole reason for the mind controls, because they want you in your mind. They want to steer you away from your gut and your heart. And so just getting back to that and living from that place. I could go on and on and on about what's happened in the past year. I think it's been beautiful for me. There's been some really dark moments, but I feel like I'm coming out on top, and I'm falling in love with myself in a way that I never have before. So I'm grateful for that.
Thank you. Very, very, very well said. How about you, Dan?
Dang, y'all are amazing. I concur. Erika said great. Fabulous stuff. So many similarities. I really was probably a different person a year ago, I must say. I was a little bit more naive, and I don't say that in a negative way, but it's just kind of where we all kind of were and are. And I got to tell you, I've learned a lot in this past year. I've been able to really see a lot of situations for what they really are, and what they really are becoming, if that makes sense. Because everything is sort of expanding, not just our consciousness, but what we're sort of manifesting in this world, either individually or co-creatively. So it's really fascinating. And also too, I don't know if it's just my age or being married for being with my Capricorn husband for 10 years, but I have certainly learned patience as well, my friends. And for a double Gemini, that is a thing, getting that patience. But it's just been great. Also too, like learning how to finish things, but also to be with the process of uncomfort and discomfort, and to really sit with that. And it's so surprising, like what can occur, especially, oftentimes tied to someone else, what organically can transpire in those moments when you're vulnerable enough to sit with the uncomfort for way longer than you perhaps historically were before. So yeah, just reaching that pinnacle moment of, wow, we are witnessing such amazing times, and I get to be a part of it, just like all you other folks. So it's exciting.
Totally. It's the best time to be on Earth.
Mm.
Thanks, Dan. Sorry that you're down at the bottom of the screen.
It's perfectly okay. It's perfectly okay. Because I hear what everyone is saying, and it's so funny because I had written down the law of allowing. And everyone is speaking about how they've changed, and a part of it is the law of allowing. And you said 1 year, but I have to spike it back up. Let's go back to the year 2020 just to say 2020 was the year of the mouth, and everyone was just shouting, "This is what I know. This is how I feel. This is how it is." And we were just like, like thinking, that we could change people and fix people. And if I just give them this message, if they could just hear it, that all these things were going to happen. And in waves, it happens, right? And I would say the law of allowing, because we've allowed ourselves to get hurt, but then we still have to allow people to just be who they are, right? And you're saying about yourselves too. It just makes me want to cry because we've been hurt so deeply, each and every one of us, right? And going through these changes. But what we've done is reach through the cloud of compassion. And what you're saying, patience, is really compassion. Because I know that Tyler can't change or change when I want him to change. He can't think what I want him to think, but I still love him anyway. And I won't say that because Tyler's not where I am today that, he's just not going to make it and I can count him out. And I just want to let people know that too. That's a part of this whole thing, is that people who aren't even looking at what you're looking at or thinking about what you're thinking about right now can pass you. So do not take it for granted. And that's a part of this false light thing that is going on, because there's people who look like they had it going on, right? And they had the information, the knowledge, and they were talking a good talk. But there was some things on the inside that are not allowing them to move forward, and it's blocking, right? But they sounded good. But this just further proves how much you need to stand firm and know who you are and what you believe. Or else the message that someone gave you a year ago, you're going to follow them right off of a cliff. And this is what I'm seeing, is that you have to be deeply and firmly rooted in yourself and who you are personally. And that way, when you meet people, because in our hearts, we want to be a part of this beautiful, loving group. And we want to be a part of something big. But what hurts us is sometimes we begin to try to align with people instead of figuring out if they align with us. So here it is, each one of us as an individual is the army of one, because if Matthew decides that he's going to go fuck it all up and he's not going to do what's right, is Erika going to continue to do what she know her mission is? Am I going to stick with my prime directive and keep moving forward and keep being honest and keep being good to people? Or am I just going to follow what everyone else is doing? And so understand and have compassion for people for where they are, but just remember to remain who you are. And that's what I feel for myself is one little piece of that, because some people maybe don't like Bible quotes, but there's a thing called the wheat and there's the chaff. The chaff blows away with the wind. The wheat is the part that you eat, the part that makes the bread. And you want to be the wheat. You don't want to be the part that blows along. As soon as something new comes up, you want to be a part of this and part of that. But being the wheat, being the true part, the food that other people will be able to follow you and listen to your message, and that you'll be able to help people along the way. And I'm real long-winded. That's why I got my own show, right?
You came
So I'll
to the
shut
right
up.
place for that, for real. I will literally talk at you for 3.4 or 5 hours, whatever it is. But
that's good. Then me and you can talk for 6 hours then.
I have an immediate follow-up question for everyone, but is there anyone that wants to make a comment really quickly before I give you a really weird question?
I do want to make a comment.
Go ahead.
Listen to everyone here. These are people that are all going to be at the conference, and every person at the conference can probably say something just as impactful and have something to add to this conversation. It's not about the people on stage. That's what's so beautiful about this. Obviously there's a reason, we set it up in that formula. It's a template, the conference template, but I wish everyone could get up there and speak because everyone has something to say. I think it's beautiful. I think it's absolutely beautiful.
Totally. Thanks, y'all. Good to see everybody in the chat, by the way. This whole time I have been spacing out, checking out our chat here. Thank you, everyone, for being a part of this gathering.
Wow.
I have an immediate follow-up question, but yes, go ahead. Somebody was about to say something. Yes. Who was that? Nobody? Okay. Here we go. This is somebody out there has already heard this question. Somebody in the chat that's been here before has already heard me do this question. It's a little bit cringe, but I'm just going to ask it. It's about superpowers, and the reality is, we are living in a time where we all have certain superpowers and abilities that are showing up on the Earth plane. Everybody that's here has experienced that in some way, but let's try this scenario. You're about to activate a new superpower. You're going to be the only person in the world that has this ability, and you can choose one of two abilities. There's only two. You can be invisible or you can fly. Those are your two choices. No one else gets to join you in that. You'll be the only one that gets to do it. My question to everyone here is, which one of those two abilities do you choose and why? If you want, we can start with Mason because you had a very serious look on your face.
Oh, well, I was debating on which one I wanted.
I know, right? It's right.
Choose to fly. And I think the reason why is because I believe that when you travel, you can learn more than you can just sitting in one place. And so if I were able to fly anywhere at any time, if I had any questions or say I wanted to go to the pyramids and I just want to go to the pyramid, I'm going to meditate on top of the pyramid today and I could fly there. Or I live far away from my family, so I can go fly, see my family, see my loved ones. But also, I think if I could fly, I think that's almost every little child's dream is flying somehow. You're always flying, we're flying. I think that just would unlock a sense of freedom. And there's a conspiracy theory about planes and jet fuel and why they actually got rid of the Zeppelin aircraft. It's because that ability to fly for so cheap is freedom and being able to freely move around versus driving in traffic or something like that in Chicago, which is terrible. So I choose flight.
Okay, I feel you. All right, so we have one flyer so far, Mr. Robert Earl White. What's your superpower?
All right, keep it simple. If I could go invisible, it would be really bad. I would do nothing but bad things. Nothing good could come from me being invisible. So I choose flying because I think I would be a good boy flying. But if I'm invisible, this world's getting burnt to the ground. No, I'm flying. I want to be a good boy. Done.
Okay. All right, so we got a couple flyers. Go ahead. Okay. Nice. Go ahead, Anne Marie, or whoever, anybody. Go ahead. Yeah.
Okay. Well, I'm connected with the Raw Collective and with Blue Avian, so I'm in flight. I am totally in flight. And just, for me to look down and see how beautiful the world is, that's where I'd go. I just hang out up in the sky and just fly around, look at all the beauty, look at the people, that's it.
I said the same thing as Aurora. I'm going invisible because I want to be able to go through secret doors and passageways where you can find, some unknown, what we think are unknown unknowns, and find out some secrets. Go inside some tunnels and some caves, and I don't have to be scared. People got to be scared of me.
I agree. That's what I was going to say too. I tried to fly when I was a kid, and I jumped off the slide head first, and I said Superman, and I landed on my face, and my teeth went through my bottom lip. So that didn't work out. So we're gonna go invisible. But for the exact reason, that was my mindset. I'm I could get into every dome, every base, every top secret facility, the Vatican. I want to go and I can
You would
go
have a
in.
lot of healing to go through.
Reading some documents, reading secret documents and stuff.
Go
Right,
to the
I'm just-
Vatican, dude. Go to the Vatican.
Right, that's what I would do. I would go explore all these places that we only get to talk about, and I want to go see for myself, and
Mm-hmm.
you know, and then you can fly travel for free because you could just get right through the airport. You know, you could just
Right, slide in.
yeah.
Okay,
That's what
so
I would do.
we got a couple invisibility people. We got a couple flyers. What about you, Dan?
I've always been a flyer, and I think for me it would be more for the feeling of it, just really feeling.
That would be cool.
Wow. Okay. I gotta be real, you guys. I would do invisible. It's like that's the only answer to me. I'm like, what? You could do all of those things if you're invisible, and yes, I would probably be going many places that I should have never been to begin with. But I guess if people know me, they'll know I'll probably already go there anyway. So, but
Right.
anyway, yeah. Okay, so that's an interesting one. We got a lot of people in the chat. I saw a lot of invisibility people. But see, there we go. Greg Herrera knows. Yeah. See, Greg, you and I have the same affliction then, because I still struggle with an incredible invisibility ability. And so anyway, thank you guys. It's just a little bit of a diversion. We just have a couple more things, and then I have a little bit of a Rorschach test that we're gonna do at the end of our at the end of our gathering here today. But getting back into kind of questions of the moment. A lot of us have been talking about AI. A lot of us have been looking at the Great Reset. A lot of us have been watching and experiencing what we might call the sort of parasitic mind virus that has been working its way across the planet for the past few years, or we could say eons, however you want to call it. And I've noticed that those of us in the spiritual, or whether you want to call it disclosure, ascension, whatever new age buzzword term you want to add to the current community that we are all a part of, one of the things that I've noticed many of us enjoy doing is kind of talking about and theorizing about what we might call the dark side, or the negativity, or in some cases negative aliens. And so my question for everyone here is, what do you perceive, as a person that's been around, and everyone, we've all been here for a few years of this strange awakening journey, what do you perceive at this stage as the greatest threat to human consciousness?
Ooh.
Greatest threat. What is the greatest threat to humans on Earth right now? And whoever wants to start on that one, or we can go in order. Go.
I'll start. I'd say the greatest threat to human consciousness is humans.
Yeah.
And I mean, we are our own worst enemy. That's why you have to get to know yourself. Otherwise, like I said, honestly, it comes back to mind control, because there's no greater threat than somebody who doesn't know themselves, who's blindly complacent in these agendas and everything that's that they're pushing upon us every single day. We're bombarded with. They want us to be zombies. They don't want us to know ourselves. So I feel like that, like seeing so many people under a spell, that's hard to look at whenever you're on the other side of that. And I feel like that is a threat. Like I guess that you could say like it's all meant to be that way, because like I said earlier, that's how people learn. But ultimately, I feel like we are our own worst enemies. We are our greatest threat if we don't get our shit together, honestly. And we could look at everything else external of us, all these bad guys and these demons and these reptilians and these entities and the Dark Gray Alliance, whatever. You could say any of those are legitimate threats, but ultimately, like Mason said, if you get to know yourself, you get to know other people, and the world isn't such a bad place. It's all an illusion anyway. It is a stage. It is a play. And at the end of every play, I love this analogy I heard somewhere. At the end of every play, all of the actors and actresses come out on stage, and everyone applauds for them, even the villains, especially the villain, because they're the antagonist. And without the antagonist, the hero couldn't have gone on the hero's journey, and the play would have sucked.
That's right.
So we're experiencing that on a world stage right now. So we have to be grateful for all of the darkness that's there. So if we, talk about a threat, like I think, like I'm my biggest threat if I'm not self-aware, because if we're not self-aware, then we're zombies.
Boom.
Yeah. It's that lack of self-awareness, that lack of understanding that your ego can flare up and get in the way. You're not necessarily the greatest, you know? That the idea that when your feelings get hurt, that someone else is always wrong, it doesn't take in account that you actually hurt people as well. And then the idea that I actually hurt myself, right? Because I don't always treat myself the best. I don't always think of myself as the best. But then when I feel threatened, I want to like lash out and hurt other people. And so I would totally agree that, you know, even when it comes to fear, I absorb my own fear. If I become fearless and I become full of love, then where's, you know, all my healing? I'm in charge of all my healing, and I'm in charge of the fact that you hurt me or not, right? Because I don't have to be hurt all the time. I don't have to be overly sensitive or easily offended or angry unless I decide this for myself. So it just seems like we're always getting in our own way with our prejudices and our thoughts.
Right. And if you're easily offended and you're easily you overreact and you emotionally react, you're also easily manipulated. And those types of people are taken advantage of, and that's what they want. They push that. You know, they play on our emotions with their trigger events to get us to emotionally react and give our power away, and therefore manipulate us to serve their agenda. So yeah, absolutely.
I feel you.
I wanted to add in that, you know, I just retired as an elementary art teacher, hence the art of healing. So I was there present when kindergarten teachers were telling kids, keep that mask up, don't pull your mask down. And I was, you know, that's one of the reasons why I decided to get out, because I couldn't handle it. I just couldn't handle it anymore. But having said that, so we're taught from pre-K kindergarten, sit still, be quiet, don't give your opinion, do as I tell you to do, and you're a good boy if you do so. You're a good girl. Oh, you get a star. You didn't talk? That's great, you know? So we're from the get-go, we have been taught that the winners are the ones who sit still. So I'm going to add on to what Tyler was saying, and saying that our apathy is really the most detrimental thing that we have to work on. And we're seeing it. Look at Europe. Europe is not sitting down and worrying about, they're not worrying about things. They're up and out. They're fighting. They're rebelling. And yet here we are with, gas. I saw it when gas prices were over $4. I'm sitting here. Why aren't we freaking like invading something? Why are we worried? Why are we doing this? And then I looked to the side, and there was this little coffee shop, and there's about 30 cars in line to get some stupid coffee. And I was like, that's it. Keep calm and carry on. We've been programmed. Keep calm and carry on. Right? Look at that big wave of that, British, thing from World War II. It's been put in our face, and it was put in our face when? About 5 years ago. Everything, mugs, T-shirts, everything. We were pre-programmed to keep calm and carry on. And we've got to understand, we have a voice. We must voice our opinions. This bill that is in Congress, that's the TikTok bill. It's not a TikTok bill. It is something that is going to affect every single one of us. We will have no privacy. Oh, this new Cash App thing, the Cash App is going out. Now we've got a federal money transferring system.
Yep.
Really? Guys, that's my thing.
But Anne-Marie, we are raising our voice because we got tarot card readers fighting with tarot card readers.
Wait, we do? Where?
Everywhere, all the time, complaining and accusing, and instead of actually fighting about the things that you're fighting about. That's what I see. So.
Oh, I'm missing that. Anyway, go ahead. Anybody else? What is the greatest threat? I would have thought you guys would have said AI. Go ahead, Dan.
Well, everyone has said everything I was going to say, but along your lines, Erika, it's focus. Like, what are we focusing on? Because like everything is vying for our attention. Everything's pulling us. Where are we focusing our attention, both intellectually as well as emotionally? Well, right there, a tarot fights. Yeah, done. Anyone else?
I think it's
I didn't mean to derail you. Oh, I'm sorry, Dad.
You're fine.
It was the tarot.
Hey, you lost your focus, brother. No, I'm just kidding.
I think it's the same thing it's always been. It just has different faces, and I think it's fear.
Mm.
Fear restricts consciousness, and doesn't matter its method of delivery. Fear this virus, fear this war, fear this sickness, fear. That's all it is. But if we really take the time to kind of look through all the things that we've gotten through that we may have feared in the past, is there really anything such like, is there fear? Is there really fear? If you think about anything that you were actually scared of and you overcome it, what is that fear? It's the unknown. So if we can kind of focus on changing the face of fear and making the unknown become known, which is unveiling the unconscious to be conscious, there's nothing to fear. And so that goes back to knowing yourself. If you are fearless, you can conquer the world. Now, with all the stuff that's going on in this country and in the world, it's all done to create divisiveness, to create separation, to create fear, to ultimately restrict consciousness. Because if consciousness wasn't restricted, we would be in a completely different timeline. But there's too many things that grab our attention, too many things that we, try to focus on, like, oh, these gray aliens are doing this, these draconians are doing, well, what is it doing to you that you're being distracted from? And I think that's the biggest threat to consciousness.
That sounds like the real superpower. Getting over your fears, right?
Mm-hmm. And to chime in about the AI threat, I think none of us are saying that because maybe subconsciously we realize that's not the threat. That's what that's what we hear every day to say AI threat. That's the propaganda. That's what they want us to
That
say.
might be the propaganda.
That's all in movies and all that. You got to remember that it's a tool, so it can only be used by the beholder.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, and I say the higher consciousness, we have that inside of us, and we can tap into that at any time. So it's not doing anything that we can't do. So it can't outpower us. It can't outpower us.
AI's end goal is to become as human-like as possible, because we are the greatest invention. But Robert,
human then human. That's our motto.
But it only gets its information from past results. You got to remember, it's a line of code. So it can't predict anything in the future. It cannot create something new. It can only do a combination of things with super fast accuracy. But again, it's based off past results. Even if they get into quantum computing, the only thing that's going to have is more processing power in a faster amount of time. It still can't create anything new. It won't be able to outsmart, but it will be able to do logical-based tasks faster than any human. So it'd be good for like automation and stuff like that. When it comes to like world domination or anything like that, I mean, unless they make some sort of like egregore and possess a body that's kind of half robot, half human, but then
it'll still malfunction. Yeah,
it's kind of crazy, That's their end goal. They just want to get rid of the humanity. They want you to become a computer.
Robert hasn't got a chance to chime in.
You were reading my mind. I saw it.
So I absolutely agree with everything everyone's saying. Hands down, it's us. But to add another level to this, and what I'm about to say, the same thing that is our greatest weakness is also the same thing that has kept us going as a species. And that's the reptilian part of the human brain, the fight or flight. It helps us survive, and it also causes fear and to react harshly on things that we don't understand. And at the same time, it's the same reason that when we have a rock rolling towards us, we run. So it's a double-bladed sword. And at the end of the day, it comes down to us and how we're designed. We're on a constructive, destructive path. We're almost meant to create and then to fall apart. It's almost like in our design to collapse. So it's us.
Yeah.
Right.
I just want to say one thing.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Whenever there's a bad guy, there's Master Splinter, right? On what is it?
Totally.
Master
Ninja
Splinter.
Turtles.
He's got
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
who's his assistant? Bebop and Rocksteady. When you look at Skeletor, who's his assistant? The bad guy can only get but so many resources. You understand? And it's usually not the smart guys. Smart guys don't usually follow, right? And they're not good followers. So we can't even try to look for boogeymen right now. I think that in that fear factor that we're talking about, get over the fear factor. The boogeyman doesn't exist. You're facing yourself, you're facing your fears, and you're projecting your fear onto others, and there goes your bad guy right there.
Yes.
So
everything's a projection. Yeah.
So nobody thinks human cloning is the greatest threat to humanity.
Clones can't get I'm not going to say anything else.
I'm just throwing that out there. I don't necessarily think it is. I was hoping for some more controversial, salacious answers. I thought you were going to say the Orion group or something.
I think they're all interesting tactics being used by the controllers. And I think it's very amusing to observe. And I love learning about it. And I love seeing what we're capable of as humans and the technologies that are hidden from us. It's all fascinating, right? And to see, like, wait a second, that actually isn't a person talking to me, and like figuring it out. I like the mystery of it all, but I'm not scared of it. Like, it's just like, it's amusing to me. And it's funny watching them thinking that they're getting away with it, like thinking that they're tricking us or deceiving us when we can completely see right through it. Obviously, like, things, on the surface look like they're getting worse and worse, like Anne-Marie was explaining. Yeah, because that obviously their agenda has been accelerated because their hand is being forced and they're back into a corner. Who knows what's coming? Nobody knows. Anybody that tries to predict anything doesn't know. Any date that we've ever been that's ever been thrown at us never manifest. So if we've learned anything in the past 5 years, like, don't listen to no predictions, don't listen to any dates, don't give your power away to any of that. But I do think things have to get worse just so we can experience it, because you can't be told how bad things are. This is, cliche. We know this, but you really can't until it becomes personal, and affects you on a personal level. That's whenever you start to see what's going on. And it's not gonna, I can tell you somebody all day long what's happening when they're under that spell. You can lay the evidence in front of their face. They can't see it because they are literally under a spell. Black magic is real, and it's being used to freaking keep everybody under this illusion. So I don't know where I was going with that, but
I feel you. Thank you. Dan, was there anything else you wanted to say? I feel like I cut you off earlier. I feel really bad. Was there anything else you want to mention?
You're totally fine, but you were also quite telepathic too. Because just to talk about what Tyler was talking about, within our community, I guess you could call it disclosure and stuff. We don't talk a lot kind of about I guess LGBT issues, and that's a separate topic. I don't want to take us too far away, but with all due respect, my husband and I were both very, very different in our perspectives, very different. And I have been able to see with him. I'm actually getting a little emotional because it's like, I love the guy, but with all due respect, I have seen what has happened to our community, humanity, with these divisions, because it's brainwashing. And you're exactly right, Tyler. And I'm seeing it right in my purview. And the most gentlest thing I can do, which is very hard often, is just continue to love and just be a presence. And just like Erika was saying too, stand in my power, because that's something that's been a little hard for me. I'm kind of a natural people pleaser and stuff like that. I wanted those gold stars in school. I got to tell you, Anne-Marie.
Yeah.
But standing in my power, that's something that's real important these days. So thank you for kind of bringing it full circle.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thanks.
Yeah, we can own our victimhood, or we can, move on.
Yeah.
I'd love to bounce off of what Dan was saying, because last night I could not sleep because there's somebody on social media that really annoys me was like coming into my awareness like the whole time. And I woke up in the morning and I was like, I've got to forgive this person. I've got to come to some sort of forgiveness point. And I picked up I practice A Course in Miracles, and I picked up my lesson today, and that was the exact lesson. It was, look at your enemy as sinless. You have to look at them as sinless. They're just, I don't know, it just exactly was what you were saying, Dan. So, and one thing that I learned is really what is good and really what is evil. So what are we judging here? Because in every bit of evil, just like the yin and yang, even in the darkness, there's always light. In the light, there's a little bit of darkness. It's the nature of our reality. It's the nature of where we are in this realm. So it's something we have to kind of back up and observe versus letting it get under our skin. So
Yeah. I feel you.
Spit out that apple. The apple. The
Right.
tree of the knowledge of what is good and what is evil messes us up. It is what it is.
Right. And I'm going to piggyback off what Dan said. And I was all about those gold stars also. I was so happy that I could take the best nap in kindergarten and I get an award for it because I was quiet the whole time and I didn't move. But and you made a great point, but it's true. I was that kid, We always wanted to do good, but innately we want to do good. That's why. We don't know any different when we're that young.
Oh, I love that. Any other comments before I go to a totally different question? Okay, here we go. And don't worry, I'm not going to keep everybody that much longer. We have 2 more questions left. And for those of you guys that are hanging out in the background, once again, I really, really want to see a number of you guys in the chat at the Journey to Truth conference, May 22nd through 25th. If you're just tuning in the background, and what I've noticed is there's always a bunch of randoms that come in and out. That's the reason why we're gathering here today. Every single person on the screen is going to be present at this conference in some form, whether we're selling the work that we've been creating, whether we're being present alongside ourselves and others, whether we're doing some form of healing work or energy work, whether we're there to watch the speakers, whether we're there to hang out with everyone. My prayer is a number of people here. I want to see at least 3 of you guys that are going to be buying a live stream ticket, because I know a number of you have already messaged me about that. And so I would like to see at least 3 people from this live stream here. Get a live. If you're not able to make it out there, get a live stream ticket. But that said, totally. That said, here comes a question and I would like everyone to be really authentic on it, even though I just did an episode last week where I talked a bunch of shit about all this stuff. I'm going to ask very, very authentically. And I'll put it from this perspective. One of my great concerns, but also loves, is that us as a multidimensional community are kind of stuck in between 5 different extraterrestrial races. It's a little bit of a concern for me. But that said, one of the things that I love about the people that are here is that we all represent what I believe to be very, very truly authentic experiencers and individuals that have had, in many cases, life-changing experiences with, whether you want to call it multidimensional, extraterrestrial energies, whatever the label is, it's irrelevant at this stage. My question for everyone here is, what extraterrestrial kind of energies have you been experiencing around you? What groups do you think it is? What have you guys been seeing within your own kind of path? And whoever wants to start with that, tell us about what have you been experiencing lately, if anything. Go ahead.
I've been experiencing the feline energy, the Lyran energy, lion being, whatever it is, I don't know. I can't quite put my finger on it. It's been something that's been shown up in my awareness for a couple of years now. And, it started off by me doing that experiment where you stare at yourself in the mirror between the eyes until you literally disappear. I don't know if anyone's tried that. It's amazing. It shows you how fake everything is. You start to become transparent when you do that. But then if you don't check out due to fear, because it is very scary when your face starts to melt and you can see through yourself, usually you panic because your heart you almost can't control it. Your heart rate is accelerated. But if you can work your way through that and get to a point where you don't break focus, what happens is you start to morph and you almost see another version of yourself step in. And the first time I did, I saw myself as a lion being, like a human, but with like lion features. And it was like the most wild, scary thing. And I backed out of it. But then a couple days went by and I wanted to try it again to see if I could recreate it or if it was just like a weird, one-time thing. And sure enough, I was able to do it again and see that exact lion being. And I'm like, wow, this is wild, And, we have sessions with people and there's always this lion energy and stuff. And I wasn't really grasping onto it. I wasn't applying it. I just was like, oh, that's interesting. And just today, I was at this metaphysical fair and there was this cat whisperer there. She talks to cats. She communicates with cats. And there's nothing on her table about lions or lion beings or felines, whatever. But I was just drawn to that table and I just kept asking her questions. But I really wanted to ask her, because I finally just asked her, I said, when you talk to these cats, do they tell you anything about being a lion or from another planet or another place? And she's like, actually, that's what I really do. I communicate with the lion beings and the lions. But it all started by me learning how to communicate with cats, but I don't advertise that because not everybody's there. So she usually just books a session with somebody who has a cat, and she'll channel that cat, and she'll give a message from the cat, like, oh, I don't like this food, or I don't like doing this, or whatever. The cat will have the messages for the owner, right?
Nice.
But I don't have a cat. So I did a session with her just on a hunch, and we started tapping into like my lion aspect. And it was super profound and it was very activating, and I'm still integrating and processing that. But just to answer your question, that's the one energy for me in particular that has been showing up. Dude, and I'm actually excited for the first time to explore it. And I thought today was a huge step in that for me.
That's wild. I love it. I love it. Thank you. Who else? Anybody else? What ET groups are around right now?
Well, my peeps are kind of blue. I tend to have blue in a great way. I tend to have pretty strong connections with I guess they're Arcturian as well as the Andromedans too, and I have had some when I was younger with the mantis beings. And again, I didn't know anything really about UFOs back then, but I just remember having some profound experiences with some mantis beings. And then there was another one later in sort of an astral projection that was not the healthiest. And then there was another gray situation. But other than that, it's mainly my blue peeps. I had what do you call it? A past life regression thing when I was in my doctoral program. And the first lifetime that came to me in this whole regression, I looked down and everything was blue. I don't want to tell the whole story. I'm sure you guys have heard it before. But then that led me to understand both a near-death experience and an out-of-body experience where I met the same looking being. And I was lucky enough to have a physical somatic experience with one of these beings where they literally picked me up during a car accident and placed me gently on the ground, which was not what anyone else experienced at the time, but that was just what my energetic body experienced. And I could feel much more of their physical entity while this was occurring. So that's my little thing.
Yeah. Thank you.
Amazing.
Yeah, thank you. So we got Arcturians, we have Lyrans. Who else?
Matthew, real quick, you shook your head whenever I was talking about the mirror experiment, like you've done it before.
Yeah. Actually, I have, and I'm sure nobody will be surprised. It was a reptile being that kept showing up, a very smooth-skinned kind of snake-like being. Among other ones, but anyway, it's
but just to corroborate it's an effective experiment. Like it does work.
It's very real. Yeah.
I'm not just crazy. Like it works if you stare in the mirror long enough.
Oh yeah, no, it is absolutely real. There's kind of portals. There's literal portals like within the eyes, and pretty much everybody here knows this. But as you kind of detune and pull out of it, it'll show you the kind of the images or the fractals that are kind of within the same eyes, almost like a tunnel. But anyway, you guys all know this, and watch out, because don't get me started. I will talk about it forever. But let's go to Anne Marie, because I know you have a great history with the Raw collective. But what else have you been noticing within that area within your life lately?
Well, starting in the very beginning, when I first started to channel, I used to get messages from, I used to channel this particular light language, and I knew it was, it felt like it was a jovial Jabba the Hutt being. And it was just very interesting. It just made all these weird sounds. And I just had this image of like this jovial Jabba the Hutt. And I encountered another light language channeler who channeled something very similar. And she said they were slug beings. And she had no idea that I saw this Jabba the Hutt being. So I thought that was pretty cool. I believe it was Orion from Orion. And I've gotten messages from Orion. I've gotten messages from Sirius. I connect with the Whale Collective. I've channeled them before. Pleiadians more recently. Almost always I've connected with Pleiadian energy. And then lately, as the past couple of years, I've had the Raw Collective and the Blue Avians. I'm part of a spiritual community, and literally we communicate with a Blue Avian, and he channels artwork, which I have behind me. It's too, you can't really see it, but it's part of my spiritual practice. And so, yeah, that's who's kind of in the mix right now for me.
Oh, God. Okay.
Right.
I got a job of being cool. Anybody else?
I'm sorry to interject one more time. I saw somebody in the chat say, "Oh, I'm trying that tonight, the mirror thing." I want to make sure to let you know to please put up protection and shield yourself, protect yourself before you do that, because the mirrors are literal portals, and you don't know what you're messing with. And I just be careful. Just do it with caution. I've literally done it to where I've had the room with lights on go dark and the mirrors start rippling. To I had to actually reach out and touch the mirror to see if like I could go through it. It was the craziest thing. But the latest Matrix movie shows you mirrors as portals, right? And I do believe mirrors are portals. And if you look at who created or invented mirrors and do a dig on that person, it's a lot more than just a mirror. But anyway.
Thank you. Oh, thank you for that. Thank you for that. Anybody else? I didn't mean to cut anyone off. What other extraterrestrial beings are around in India?
I wouldn't necessarily call them a being. I don't know what they are yet, but what I communicate is I have to communicate through the sun, and connecting to the sun, I can get to these either like geometric light beings, I guess you can call them. They kind of, from what I can describe, they operate in frequency, but just literally frequency. And they kind of, I would say, are the architects of reality. And it's the coolest experience if you can ever communicate through the sun and communicate to them, because they're like way distant. If you could kind of picture it, going through a tunnel through the sun, and then the sun connects to all the other suns, and then it goes to like the galactic sun, and then the sun. So you have to go through this doorway of meditation to get to these beings. But they are extremely ancient, extremely knowledgeable, but they really operate on like patterns. And the picture comes to mind like gear working, how the interconnection of gears can make things work. That's kind of how they work, but they operate within sound and light, and they're the most incredible things I've ever experienced.
That gets me excited.
That is, I got shaking when you started talking. My body started to shake with it.
Felt
That's
it.
so cool.
Yeah, they're the most incredible thing I've ever experienced. I think that's the closest thing I could think of as becoming source.
Explain the gear thing again.
Yeah.
So the way they show me is that they hold everything in this reality through some sort of mechanism. It's some sort of, and they're showing me gears as it's mechanical, like how you can, like the gears on a clock, and how they all have specific functions to make the whole operate. But but
Machine
the
elves.
whole is only as good as the sum of its parts, right? Something like that.
I've
But
seen
they
that.
talk about how the universe is connected. How they talk about your individual purpose, but not like how humans would conceive of like, oh, I went to the grocery store yesterday, but the energetic footprint of my travel to the grocery store. What was I doing there behind
Yeah.
the scenes? It's some of the most incredible thing. I'm trying to figure out how to make a video or like artwork or something. It's just it's very complex because you're completely out of your own mind when I'm connecting to them. So and then I have to bring it back and it's like fragmented.
Whoa. That feels profoundly real. Profoundly. Yeah. Go ahead.
I was on mushrooms one time.
Yes, right. You will see
and I saw the gear. I saw the blueprint of like how a universe was created or engineered, and it was these gears and this mechanism, but it was so complex but so simple at the same time. Like it would seem like it's so geniusly designed that there's all these moving parts working in tandem, but it's really the simplest design ever. Anyway,
yeah.
as soon as you said that, I've never heard anyone else. I've never said it out loud because I've just sounds silly. But as soon as you said that, I got that vision again. So, judge me, whatever. I don't care.
No, thank you. You'll have a similar experience when you go into the DMT realm.
Oh, I've done that too.
There you go. Anyway, yeah. But
well, this makes me curious about how people blow up the pictures of the cloud, and it looks like a digital display. It looks like. You know what I'm talking about? Like it looks.
Yeah, I've seen that. I've actually done it and achieved it on my own. Yeah.
This is the first time today that I've literally walked past the clouds and I'm like, oh God, I really do see it. This is the first time.
Have you been noticing any beings though showing up within, like your internal realm? Have you noticed any particular groups or types of activity? Not that you would need to, but I've just found within the people within our kind of soul group, you will find that there's always some form of a group or a vibration, or even if, sometimes we have it wrong, it's like you'll notice there's a certain type of interaction taking place. What do you think?
My first experience was seeing a Lyran face, right? But lately, well, at one point I had a reading and I had like a dragon egg that was unhatched in my tailbone. But now all of a sudden I do have like double-headed dragons and different dragons, even though to my understanding, those dragons are moving out of this realm and the lions are coming back into this realm. So I can't really go into a lot of detail, but it's just that I've just begun to witness at least 4 dragons in my meditations, where before I had never had them before. But that's after my trip from Egypt too. So a lot of stuff is happening for me, and I'll be going back in June. So I can't wait to see what happens after I go back.
Nice. So we got some dragon energy. Robert, I know you have been in contact with something your entire life, every day, pretty much in the sky. What is happening out there?
I've seen 2. I only go off of what I see physically. I've only seen 2 beings. I don't talk about the one. It's a very graphic situation. The second one was a blue light being wide awake in my living room right in front of me for seconds. A lot of people that I'm connected with, it's the Arkies, or little arcs or whatever. But also there's so many of us. I want to take this time to address a different issue. So many of us are so worried of what's going on in these other star systems that we completely miss out on the ancient energy and beings that are here on this planet and our ancestors. For me, I talk to my ancestors. My ancestors guide me, not so much beings from another star system. They're not paying my rent. They're not giving me wisdom. They're not telling me where I come from. I don't even know what I am. I said that in the beginning. I don't know. So I just I feel like sometimes it can be a distraction. Now, granted, if I'm meditating just like all of you, yeah, we have stuff come to us. And to go with Tyler, what you were saying, looking in the mirror, and then the other experience, I did mushrooms once and looked into the mirror, and I will never do them again. That just put things in perspective.
Nice.
And the gears you're talking about, Tyler. We had a book where you stare at it and it's an optical illusion. And I was on the mushrooms. I looked at the book and I saw everything, the geometry, but it was gears, like the same thing you're saying. And I thought it was the illusion. The next day I'm looking at the book. It wasn't there. That wasn't the illusion. It just made like a whole nother, like a bird appears in the optical illusion. I saw this geometry and stuff. I'm like, what? And anyway, I'm not doing that again. But yeah, that's my thing. So I guess people call them Arcturians, but at the end of the day, I have so many questions about the beings I've seen. Like Mason says, he really don't know what to call them. But they're powerful, and these light beings, they're the ones running everything, the dimensional show. They're the bosses. They're the leaders of it, whatever they are. And we have a lot of them right here on this planet. And I'm really in tune with my ancestors. That's my thing. So my ancestors, that's who I'm communicating. I don't got time for Orion, Pleiades. So
no, thank you. Thank you.
I love that, because I think a lot of people want to experiment so that they can feel extra special, but focus on source and making this life the best.
Yeah.
People want to be saved by aliens, and they want to be taken away for some type of special savior. And it's like, no, we're not going anywhere. Stay right here, right now. Focus on what we're doing right now and anchor in the best life. Live this life to the fullest. Stop thinking that we're going anywhere. They thought that in 1918 and 1999 and 2012 and in 2020. We're not going. We're right here. This is our job.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah. Go ahead. Anybody else? We have one final question after this, but anybody else got anything?
I wanted to, I appreciate what you said, Robert. Who cares what's happening on Jupiter, really? Like, how is that information going to help you in your ascension, in your own spiritual work? Absolutely nothing. It's a big distraction. We're here to make ourselves the best, the lightest, the brightest, iteration of source that we can. So, that's what I wanted to say for that.
Yeah. I agree. I think it's all fascinating. It's all interesting. And of course we like to learn and explore these topics, learn about these things. And I think it's great to understand and these concepts and dive down those rabbit holes if you want to. But at the end of the day, you have to ask yourself, like, how is this information even serving me? And I realized most of the time, none of it is, in a way it is, because it gives you this broader understanding of how the controllers operate. And, we're in this existence. So I want to know how it operates. Right. But I definitely agree. Like, you start giving your power away to all these stories we're hearing about on these other planets and stuff, and not to discredit any experiencers who are sharing their stories either. It's all great, but don't give your power away to it, and remember that we're here for the human experience.
I can sum that up for you, Tyler. Don't make someone else's experience your experience. Just because someone else is seeing this and doing that, you can listen to it, but it doesn't mean you have to do it. Stop. If someone else tells you that they calling on Xenu, that doesn't mean you need to do that. Stick with source.
Wait, who?
Stick with source.
Xenu?
That's from Scientology, but I'm just going to stick with that name.
Tom Cruise.
Stick with that name, because what happens is people write books and they start talking about who they talk to. And this is like me going and saying that my grandma lives in Orangeburg, South Carolina, and I could tell you her street name, address, and what she looks like. And because I put it in a book, other people will say, I see Xenu, I see Grandma. And they want to go to knock on Grandma's door, right? And they want to see what she looks like, because I took the time to write it down in a book and I told you everything about her, right? I made you feel like you know her. And so here I am adopting your experience or you're adopting my experience because I wrote it in a book and I told you all of these wonderful, fabulous things about these people, right? And you want to be a part of that too. So what happens is when people hear other people's story, this is what you start to dream about and think about and start to meditate about. And you feel this connection that is not yours. It's not genuinely yours. Do not try to imitate other people's experience. Do what is right for you.
Yeah. Oh,
Yep.
I love it. Thank you.
Bingo.
Thank you. Man, yeah, Robert, who are the blue and yellow beings on your swag, by the way? Miss White Swan's asking.
White swan. That species comes from Getty Images. Getty Images. That's the species.
Nice.
It is.
There
I'm
you
not
go.
lying.
Yeah,
I'm
it's
not
real.
lying.
That's real. That's real. I love it. I love it. Thank you. Thank you. If it's a hair model, it's okay for it to be a hair model. You know what I mean?
It's
totally
okay.
okay. It's all right. But okay, cool. Any other comments before we go to the biggest question of this evening? No more. No more. Okay, here we go. So it is kind of a big question. I know that a lot of us over the past few years, and this is one of the reasons why I chose this final question, is because each of us here, in our own way, having been around, if you want to call it the SSP, Disclosure, Ascension, industry, soul group, whatever label you want to add to it, each of us here has had interesting experiences in viewing what we might call the dark underbelly, what we might call the cults of personality and the great waves of viral madness and the sort of the projections. Like, in fact, Erika was just talking about the projections. The certain individuals in highly catalyzed, highly activated states of publicly kind of harvested energy are able to project and create these timelines. And each of us has viewed it. We've seen it. You know, we've all been around the blocks for a while. And so I do have kind of one final question. I want to get everyone's opinion on it because, you know, at the end of the day, for some of us, you know, maybe it's a war, maybe it's a popularity contest, maybe it's just a battle for, you know, what we might call hits or likes. And so that said, I have a question for everyone. I'd like to get your opinions on who would you choose? It's the end of the world, ladies and gentlemen. It is the end of the world. The disclosure wars are going insane. Everybody's got a channel. Everybody has a cult. Everybody's got a famous story. And so my question for the members of this panel here today, one will protect you. The rest are coming to kill you. Choose wisely.
Who is the one in the right middle?
That's Goja from Cosmic Agency. She gets text. She's been
Yeah, I've
texting
heard.
with the Pleiadians. Mason, you're first on my screen. You can only choose one, bro. Which one is it going to be? And and why? Why?
Well, I've met a lot of these people.
I know. That's why I put them up here.
Yeah.
I can go ahead and
I
answer.
find them all quite fascinating.
Yeah.
You know, they all have their own versions of their stories, and what they believe is what they believe. And I don't really think I could pick one because I understand that they're all kind of, you know, just doing what they think is right, hopefully. And I don't know the guy in the center. That's Tyler. You had him on your podcast recently, didn't you?
Ismail Perez, yeah.
Yeah, my mother's really big into him.
Well, it sounds like Jason chooses Ismail.
Women love him.
So do we have one vote for I can't say his name. God, I love you, bro. Ismail. Do we have a? It sounds like Mason voting.
No, I will say the guy in the bottom left because I don't know who that is.
Oh, Randy. Okay, cool. Good choice. Good choice. Who's next? Go ahead, anybody.
Erika, that's me. I'm going next. I will pick Randy Kramer.
Nice. Okay.
And I'll tell you why. In the middle of the madness of last year, I swear to God, I find him very sarcastic and somewhat bitter and flustered most times, right? But what I appreciated about him is that he spoke about echo chambers. And that was a huge freaking lesson for me, that people go places to hear what they want to hear, right? And so they create their own echo chambers, and you're not allowed to think outside of the box inside these chambers. And he really expanded on that. And then I realized that most Telegram groups are exactly that. Most channels are exactly that. I'm only gonna interview you or talk to you if you believe and think what I think and support exactly what my thoughts are and nothing outside of that. And that's how it is in in the Telegram groups as well. And so then you kind of wonder, like I said, you want to assimilate and align with people, but what you need to do is stick with yourself, know who you are, and figure out who aligns with you. And stop don't give up your principles and your morals and your standards to be a part of any one group.
Nice.
And he seems to be the only person who doesn't give a fuck if anybody follows him or not.
It's true.
That's one thing about Randy, and he's
So I
gonna say
chose
whatever
wisely, and I
he
didn't even know.
feels and whatever he thinks, and he's gonna say it unapologetically. So I will stick with Randy.
Nice. Okay. Cool. Yeah. Go ahead, Tyler. Yeah.
I want to bring up something interesting. I know you're doing this as it's comic relief or whatever, and but this is a perfect example. Like every one of these people on the screen has impacted somebody's lives
Absolutely
greatly, and including myself. And like Mason, I've met a lot of these people. I've spent time with some of these people. And they're all humans too. But what's even sadder about this is that this is I believe this is a result of MK Ultra, right? If these people are real experiencers and they try to blow the whistle on something, obviously they're not going to kill the whistleblower anymore. The best way to kill a whistleblower now is to mind control them and make them sound so insane to the point where they discredit their own testimony and start doing stupid shit and become these sociopaths and whatever, blah, 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 blah. And then they're puppets. So we're looking at a screen, of puppets essentially. And it's actually sad. And maybe somebody could say the same about all of us in this call.
Yeah.
But either way, it's really interesting. If I had to pick anybody to protect me, if we were going by straight on, like somebody who I would think would be good at my side in the middle of battle, I would have to go with Randy Kramer also.
Nice. Okay.
I feel like definitely.
You know what? Before he stab you in the forehead at the very, very end, you know how on Survivor, both one of us has to go, right? I know. He gonna straight up tell me, like, you dead, bitch. I'm like, Randy is not gonna lie to you. He's gonna be like, you know what? It's been nice. But you're gone.
Okay, we got a lot of votes for Randy so far. I like that. Anybody else?
Robert.
Oh, we've got silence. Go ahead, Robert.
All right. Here we go. And this kind of circles back to what we were talking about in the first question or second question. But I'm going with Elena Denon. I love her. She's an amazing person. She's always had my back, has really helped me. She would never do anything wrong to me. She's a lovely person. I think she's absolutely wonderful. And plus, when this world goes down, I'm going to be out with the Galactic Federation of Worlds. Peace, humans. I'm gone.
Boom. Okay. All right. We got a few votes for Randy. We got a vote for Elena. Go ahead. Anne Marie, who do you choose?
Well, I think I'd go. This is very uncomfortable, just to let you know. But like Elizabeth. I like Elizabeth April. I like her. I've been following her for a long time. I think she's never said anything that has bristled me. It just hasn't. So, and I think it's beautiful because I can imagine reactions in people out there. Oh my God, you like her? Are you kidding? And
she has a lot of good info. It's okay.
Yeah, well, the whole point is that this is what we're talking about. What is good? What is bad? What is right? What is wrong? We all have to accept each other and understand that, we all have our own likes and dislikes, etc. But between Elizabeth and probably David, probably David Wilcott or Elizabeth.
Nice. Thank you. Okay, Dan, how about you?
Oh boy. Well, so I've met half these people in person, and I definitely would not choose them. So I've never actually met Rand. Sorry, I got to be honest. I'm not.
No, be real. Thank you. Thank you
Yeah,
for.
I'm not going to take this opportunity to do a political answer. I'm going to
Thank
be real.
you. Smart move.
But actually, like Randy's kind of an interesting character, and I feel like he would pull something out of his pocket in case something went down. And hey, I'm not that strong, so at least one of us got a weapon. I don't know.
Nice.
I love it.
Nice. Okay, we got a lot of votes for Randy. Wow, actually, thank you, and I enjoy seeing how uncomfortable this has made everyone here. I genuinely love it, and I think if there's one thing we can take from this moment is that never to take ourselves too seriously in this strange multi-dimensional realm. That said, though, who would I choose? Because I gotta say there is one person who I just still love him after all these years, and that's my little buddy David down there in the corner. I still love him after all these years. In fact, he did a really cool live today. But let's just say theoretically, if one of them was gonna protect us physically. And I have met all of these people except for Goshia. I have not met Elena, clearly not in the physical body, but that said, having met Ismail, I gotta tell you, dude, this dude's like 6'8". He's stacked, and if these guys were coming after me, this is the guy I would want in front of me. To be honest with you, he's also a really, really genuinely kind person. No matter what anyone says about him, I was like, yeah, he's a really, really nice guy. And so, I will also say, summing up what we saw on the screen here. Also, the reason why I chose to bring that image in, and Tyler kind of hit on it instantly, is that we have learned so much from these individuals over the year, whether you love them, whether you hate them, whether you think they're a joke, whether you made a 7-video series about all the bullshit they were into, it doesn't matter. Like, each and every one of those individuals is equally authentic within their own experiences, no matter how we kind of understand it, no matter how we want to phrase it. And I think that, as we are going forward, if there is one thing that I would want, to be known for, is that we are all that. We all have the same access. We are all connected in exactly the same ways. And so I will take any opportunity I can to lower the level at which we take ourselves so seriously in the multidimensional realm. And having said that, we've been here for quite a long time. I want to thank you guys for hanging out with us. Thanks for getting awkward and uncomfortable and everything. And does anyone have any messages or anything before we roll out the door?
Hey, Mason didn't go.
Oh, Mason. Yeah.
No, he did. He picked Randy.
Yeah, he did. Mason, are you sure you want to stick with that answer? Are you going to stick with Randy?
Yeah, I've actually never even heard of him. So
I don't know much about him either.
Okay, cool. Okay. Anyway, nice.
So it's a non-biased decision. How about that?
That honestly, it's a smart choice. But yeah, thank you. Anybody else? Any other questions? Any comments before we roll
Here's
out?
a comment. Real quick. So now everyone that's watching this in the comments, out of us, let's see it.
Oh yeah, comments. Yeah. Okay,
I got Chris.
Let's hear it.
What are you asking them? Out of us, who would they choose to protect them?
That's a horrible question. That's a horrible question. Oh, here we go. Here we go. There we go.
I got my gun license. I was in the army.
I was in the army.
I know how to filter water.
There you go.
I can cook curry.
Nice. Okay. Nice, thank you.
Anne-Marie, I did want to say something.
Go ahead.
I freaking love your voice because it reminds me of Dolly Parton.
Nice.
I never thought about it.
But I love your voice.
Talk like that, yeah.
Well, thank you.
Yes,
everybody.
people are picking me. I'll take it.
Are they? Whoa, okay.
Matthew's
All right. Okay.
like they are.
They are. Oh, okay. We got one person for me. There we go. Thank you, Felicia. Anyway, no, Tyler's definitely the smart choice. Although, if I was going with anybody on the screen, I'd be going with the 6'5" Nephilim in the corner over here. If there's anybody that you're going to choose, it's this. Oh, 6'8". There we go. Boom. There we go.
And I'm thinking he got a panic room somewhere and some liquor in it. So.
Oh, okay.
That's funny.
Erika likes to blow shit up. That's true.
Oh yeah, you're right. That's the whole reason I joined the army, so I could blow shit up. So
Nice.
I am intrigued. So
I love it. Thank you, everybody. Is there any other comments or questions before we roll out of here? I don't want to keep everybody too long.
on the
We're all-
same
yes,
lines
go
of
ahead.
what you just said, like each person, like you said, has something to teach us at a time. Like we're on a journey, and just because you watch this person or you watch that person, I like for people to think more about what they think and how they feel. But it's cool to have teachers, and it's good to eat the meat and spit out the bones. You know, you don't have to. Robert is my friend, and I don't have to believe and think everything that he does. Tyler literally is my friend. I don't have to think and believe everything that I love you as you are, and I respect you. But then I have to come back to my own sovereignty at times, and so that's it. That's what we have to remember. And I don't have to say that the day that Tyler says something I don't like, I'm not going to say that he's compromised. Okay. I'm not going to say he must have a chip in his head. And all of a sudden, because I see a lot of little freak out sabotage type stuff. And I'm like, oh my God, maybe the person, we go through these cycles where we're on these different sides. Sometimes we fucking lose our shit, right? And we lose our focus and we lose our direction. And maybe we have some incorrect thoughts that need to be lined back up. But give me time. Let me fuck up, because I'm going through a journey the same way you are. So I got time to fuck up just like you do, okay? So we're not here to be perfect. We're here to live this life the best we can.
Right. Everybody play this. I'm hearing the echo again.
Okay.
Everybody on that screen, like at one point I listened to every single one of them except for the one girl. I didn't know who she was, and I still tune in every once in a while. I don't hate them. I still think they're playing a role. Everybody has a piece of the puzzle. Think whatever you want about them. You know, some of these people literally are the reason I'm even here, the reason we even started the podcast, and wouldn't be here without them. So I have to appreciate and be grateful for everything. So sorry, I got distracted by some.
No, it's okay. I never get trolled, so I'm like, bring it on, bitch. You know what I mean? Like,
right.
It's totally cool. But anyway,
and so anyway, I definitely, I think inside there's a soul inside of every one of those people, and everyone, no matter who they are, compromised, infiltrators, controlled opposition, whatever you want to call them. I believe at some point they all started off with the right intentions. They're all well-intentioned, but we are on a planet that is designed to steer you away from who you are and mind control you and turn you into somebody who you aren't anymore. And I feel like it's no one's fault. It's no one's fault because we're obviously everything's weaponized against us. So we can't be so judgmental of these people. And I've been judgmental of these people. This is something I'm learning. We have to learn how to hold space for them. And if we only see them as the enemy or the infiltrator, that's the only way they're going to show up in our lives. So you have to see them as an equal to allow space for them to get through whatever they're going through. And I just think that we all need to remember that.
absolutely.
Yay, Libby.
Thank you, Libby. Thank you, Libby. And you know what's wild? For the record, I watch all those people's videos regularly. So I'm like, it's all good. It's all good. I love you guys.
Oh, and I do have an intel update.
Yeah, go ahead. Let's hear.
I had a dream 2 nights ago where I was on another planet with a team of miners. We were slaves. We were mining. We didn't even know what we were mining. We were just digging. We struck something extremely rare. They called it in. They pulled us off the site. They sent in the experts, and we're like, "What is it? What did they find? What did they find?" And the one guy's like, "I don't know, but whatever it is, Bill Gates is on his way here right now, and he's moving in for a while." So we got his attention, and that's all I remember. But so just so you guys know, Bill Gates is officially on another planet now because we struck some sort of rare mineral.
Nice.
I could see that. Is Bill Gates a clone? That's for anyone that wants to answer.
Oh, I'm sure everyone is. I'm sure every leader has been replaced. And I mean that not just conspiracy theory wise. I actually believe that on some level, every world leader, every public figure, that they want to influence the masses. I think there's multiple versions of them, whatever that might look like.
Mason, as a person that has worked in intelligence, what do you think about the idea that people within politics or the people that are in the upper echelons of the factions that you work with, are they clones? I know I'm really reaching with these questions, but
So I would say Bill Gates is not a clone, but he still has the same stances when he's being interviewed. He's got the same arrogance, the same kind of like, feeble look to him. That's like the biggest thing. Like if you want to talk about clones, like look at like Kanye West. People are saying that he's taller. He just got married. Who knows what's going on like that. And I don't think people like that would be clones, because I think clones couldn't be blackmailed as well.
Yeah, good point.
And because if they don't actually have ties to it, or they don't have like the full memory of that living person, they're just like woke up for 2 weeks. How can you control that? So I would say that those type of figureheads are probably them, but they're just so invested with blackmail or however it may be. But also, like when it comes to intelligence, you have to be kind of groomed for those positions, because when you're a director of, say, like the NGA or CIA, you know a lot of stuff that can be crippling. So they would definitely need to have a long-standing career within this field. Obviously have hands in somebody's pockets that are probably a little bit nefarious. I think any position like that you get in that's elected or not elected for these agencies, there is a large number of corruption within your portfolio probably. So that's my 2 cents on that. But I think that people that could be clones, like I definitely think that Joe Biden has some iffy going on.
Yeah.
I think,
Right.
I think the reason why is because whoever Joe Biden was previously, I don't think he's alive anymore, and so they needed to fill the box with somebody else, and he's literally just a fake with some sort of brain going in on the inside of it.
Right.
It's really ridiculous watching him.
It's Obama with a mask on.
It probably is, but has anyone here
They look alike.
Has anyone here looked up who is supposedly one of the biggest Joe Biden doubles? Like, if you do, I'll give you his name here, and if they watch, they'll probably knock our stream. But I believe his name is Struan, Struan. It's either Rogers or Peters. I can't remember his last name, but I know for a fact his first name is Struan, Struan. And it's either Rogers. Yeah, there you go. He got it. Rogers. Boom. Check him out. Supposedly, they have been using him off and on at certain intervals to step in for Biden at certain stages. And I guess a couple months or maybe not too long ago, he had a breakdown apparently and broke character in front of a bunch of people. I don't know what country it was, but who knows? What do you guys, for people look it up, but yeah, go ahead.
I've also heard Jim Carrey, which conspiracy. A lot of, there's a whole bunch of information.
Oh my God, Fire Marshal Bill does look like Biden.
Right. No, there's a lot there to look at, and when people do the comparisons, and if you watch if you ever watch interviews about Jim Carrey's movies, he takes on the character and he never breaks character, even off camera. He stays and people say it's either annoying, it freaks him out, and it's actually scary because he can embody the likeness of somebody else so well, and he doesn't break character. And I feel like maybe it's possible, like the stuff I've seen, but I think that there's multiple. Maybe one time he had to act as Joe Biden for one event. Not every single time, but it is interesting seeing all the different versions of him that we get. And if you notice, anything you post about Joe Biden right now is getting censored, fact checked.
Oh, is it? Oh, damn. Okay.
Everything. I've been posting some stuff on Instagram, just video footage of him malfunctioning on stage and stuff. And you get the fact check, missing content or missing context. And it's like, okay.
Well, hopefully this stream is allowed to persist, although I'm really good at staying invisible. But any other views or comments upon the waves of political cloning bizarreness?
I have a little tiny clone thing, real quick. So technically, clones can go on to procreate, right? They're created, but it's, tomorrow's Easter. Merry Christmas, Easter, whatever it is. for everyone out there. Let's go back to Adam and Eve or whatever and the creation. Out of the rib, genetic makeup is the strongest point is in the rib. That was what was used to create this clone. And Adam himself was a clone, genetically modified. What if the kicker is all human beings are clones or product of clones? What if we're all
basically
clones?
AI? Yeah, we are AI, right?
And what if the God signal? Oh, Tyler, what if the God signal is what we're rocking in because we are a clone connected to that signal? You did something on that, Tyler.
Yeah, it's all of the above is possible, right?
Who knows?
Yes,
I don't.
it certainly is. I guess I don't really buy into the whole cloning scene for everyone. I do think that a lot of the upper echelon like individuals have maybe on some level it seems viable, but I still think that it's far too expensive and impractical. I think to actually try to replace people on the level that we're told it is within the conspiracy like community. It feels like there would be far too much programming. There would be far too many changes. However, yet at the same time, I'd be willing to bet a few people on that meme, or might even be clones that we saw a little while ago. But
Right.
Anne Marie, do you guys got any input on that whole thing?
On cloning, I'm just lost in. But I believe that clones are real. I think they are real. I think that they're very cheap, actually. I think they've got the technology to just pop them out within a couple days. Yeah, I don't know.
It's only like $50,000. It's only like $50,000 on Clonaid.
Yeah.
But do you guys think Clonaid's even okay? Look how basic the Clonaid website is, though. I mean, that honestly, guys, that shit looks like it was made in 2004. Can we be real for a second? Go look at the Clonaid website. It's so old. Do you guys think that's really a front for cloning, or is it a consumerized kind of portrayal of it? Because we know they did, but is that even their website? And I mean this authentically. What do you guys think? Would it be that available, and would it look so outdated?
I think yes and yes.
I mean, a lot of the stuff on the dark web is pretty basic websites.
I mean, that's like trying to debunk a really clear picture of an alien just because it's clear, like it's too good to be true, right?
I feel you.
It's the same thing. Like that's what the truth looks like. It looks exactly like everything else looks like. It's not going to be some fancy thing,
I hear you. I kind of wonder at the same time, and like, granted, I'm fully believing in the idea of how Clonaid, they even talk about it on the website. They created the whatever it was, like the first human clone back a few years ago. At least that's what I recall reading. To me, it feels very authentic. I've just been very skeptical of their website. Go ahead.
Well,
Speaking of Dolly Parton, I heard that Dolly Parton was the first celebrity clone, and that's why they named the sheep Dolly. Named it after her.
Yeah, that's what Max Spears used to talk about. He said that Dolly Parton was the first public clone experiment, and they named her Dolly because of the sheep, or vice versa. But
why not? Why not?
Either way, we're gonna do our next webinar on clones for Journey to Truth. So we're gonna dive down deep.
When is that coming up?
I don't know yet because we have crazy schedules, but when it's ready, you'll know. And we'll have some fun with it, so everybody can decide for themselves.
Nice. We're looking forward to it. We'll get some more info at that point. That said, thank you, everyone. It's been about 2 hours. I know we're all tired. We've been hanging out here forever. I want to thank everyone for being a part of this strange show here today. I keep saying there's one final thing, but before we go, will everyone here on the website, on the live stream, state your website and where we can find you just really quickly? We'll go from Mason to Robert to Anne, Marie, Tyler, Daniel, and then Erika. And so just let us know where we can find your work and where we can take part in what you're doing.
Yeah, so you can find my work at my Shopify. It's merlinslab.myshopify.com. You can find all these on there, different versions. I am still making these pyramids, and then the colloidal silver will be on there as well. And then the copper and gold probably in a couple years. I'm trying to make a copper serum for lotion can actually help with wrinkles and and scars and stuff like that. So
Cool. Thank you. Thank you. I look forward to seeing you at the conference.
Yep. So me, Robert Earl White on YouTube. I'm going to be taking a break and really focusing. I have a lot of big things going on. Dan and I are going to be working on my book. I'm really excited about that. Don't know when we're going to get started, but it's time. So I'm going to put my focus into that. Really excited for this conference. I'm going to DC in June for the Greer, the press conference, and all the whistleblowers. I'll be there. Yeah, so I mean, it's yeah, I'm just taking some time off to focus and to get everything put together and use Dan's magical typing author hands to make an amazing book based off of something factual and told in a very unique way. So it's going to be a one-of-a-kind story. No one else will have it. So it's going to be awesome.
Nice. Thank you. Thank you.
Okay. Well, Anne-Marie, The Art of Healing is where you can find me on YouTube. I've got a channel over there where you could listen to all the different channelings, especially the early ones of the light language, and that's all there. And also my website is AnneMarieTheArtOfHealing.com. So you can look at all the things I'm up to over there.
Thank you. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Journey to Truth podcast. You could just follow us on YouTube, Rumble, Telegram. I do want to say something about the Telegram chat. If you're going to the conference, the Telegram chat on the conference website, 100 people got removed all at once one night when this troll came in, and I didn't realize that I had the settings set to where everybody had administrator capabilities. So anyway, if you're not on that group anymore, it's because you got removed and it wasn't meant to. That was an accident. So you might want to check and see, and you can sign back up through the website. And day passes are now available for the conference. If you guys don't want to come for the whole time, you can come for just a couple days. And we'd love to see you guys there. JourneyToTruthCon.com. You can follow us on all the other platforms if you want to listen to the podcast. And we just started our Patreon. We're doing monthly webinars and other exclusive content. So come hang out with us. Looking forward to seeing you there.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yep. Cool. Yes. So 2 book projects coming up, working with Robert, as well as finishing the last book in my trilogy, the Chronicles of an Arcturian Envoy series. Really cool. Excited about that. Probably be starting that the 15th of April. And I'm hoping it'll take me a month. So we'll see. But man, it'd be pretty cool if I could have that available for the Journey to Truth conference. So we'll see. I'm trying not to pressure myself too much. Other than that, my websites are danseda.com. That's DAN, S as in Sam, EDA. Oh, it's right over there. danseda.com. And my life coaching company is multiviewing.com.
Thank you. Thanks, Dan. I was trying to find your website on the chat here so I could show it. Sorry.
Okay.
But yeah, thank you. Thank you.
Somebody's got it. Yeah.
Simple and easy. Just Linktree and / the First Lady Erika, and just type it all out. The 1ST Lady Erika.
Nice.
With a K, the right way.
Oh, okay. There we go. Thank
The
you.
right way.
Thank you for being here, everybody. Thank you for hanging out with us for the past 2 hours. Thank you for allowing me to make you awkwardly uncomfortable on our live stream. If you come to the multidimensional trailer park, if there's one thing you know, it's going to get weird, it's going to get awkward, but for some reason, people keep showing up over and over and over again, which is wild, considering this was literally an accidental show that was only created because it's like nobody else wanted to talk about the stuff I wanted to talk about and stuff. That said, ladies and gentlemen, for everyone that is still here, we are going to be joining forces at this event right here. And so please do come and find us. Like you said, there is live stream passes, there's day passes. There's also a bunch of really awesome speakers from our community that everyone is very familiar with. We have a panel that's going to be going on, which I'm looking forward to seeing. And so for all of those of you guys that want to join us, we're going to be, I guess it's a little bit more than a month away. And it's something that I'm definitely looking forward to, as I know everybody else here. And so that said, I think we're finally out the door. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for being here. We're going to be back in about just 1 week with some more randomness. Who knows what will happen? In the meantime, live from the multidimensional trailer park. Everybody, pick up your trash on the way out. Please grab your folding chair. Wipe the starseed sweat from your brow. Do not stare into the void on the way out, because let me tell you, man, it's just
Some
getting
duffs.
weirder.
Yeah.
Love you all. Stay out of trouble.